And welcome back to the Off the Irish podcast, everybody.
Today we got ourselves a guest. And how about you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Tiffany Schleigh. I am an assistant food stylist living in New York City.
So you're not the other Tiffany.
I'm not the other Tiffany.
You get mixed up for a lot.
Not Tiffany from Top Chef. So there's another redheaded queer chef who also has competed on a food competition show, and we get confused. Well, I don't know if she gets confused for me. That's probably not true. I get confused for her a lot. I get quite a few messages from people being like, I loved you on Top Chef, and it's devastating every time.
You kind of thought that we done the same thing, but
I wondered.
In fact we didn't.
Thank God.
Yeah. No, we heard of you first, so that's what matters.
Right.
Yeah.
So you weren't in Top Chef, but you were in other shows.
Yes.
Could you name one?
I've only competed on one. I competed on Chopped, which is a competition food show on Food Network here. But I've worked in like food styling for Dietland, which was a show on AMC, and on Succession.
That's it's quite a good, few shows. Like.
Very articulate with your words, Dara. I love it.
Yeah,
I know,
geez,
yeah.
man.
Okay, so tell us a bit about Chopped.
Sorry, what was that?
Tell us a little bit about Chopped.
Okay. Chopped is a TV show where they have 4 different chefs from different backgrounds. And when you get on the show, you open a basket that has mystery ingredients in it. And they're usually pretty weird. And you have to make a dish out of that. And the winner gets a lot of money, which is great. But my specific episode, when I went on, I had only ever worked as a pastry chef. I had been making cakes and ice cream at a place called Milk Bar in New York City.
I like your style.
And they had me on hold for all of these like pastry and dessert episodes. And then I got a call one day from the producers, and they said, someone dropped out of this giant molecular gastronomy tournament. Do you want to do it? And I, like an idiot, said yes. And so that's how I ended up being on the show.
People we've talked to have been on different shows. They all have their own weird ways they got on.
Oh, yeah. That anybody could end up on any show here, it feels like.
I've never heard anyone who's like, oh yeah, I just, I entered.
No, never.
Yeah, I just signed up. No,
It's
I've never
always
heard that
something
story.
bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cooking,
trend.
cool stuff.
Yeah.
Dietland. Give us a brief summary on Dietland. You're a food stylist.
Dietland, yeah. So that's another accident.
Are they all accidents?
Yeah.
Wow.
Dietland, I don't even remember. Sorry, that's so loud. It's very loud here. Dietland, I got an email from someone who had gotten my name from someone else, and they said, we need someone to come in to the lead actor played Plum, played by the brilliant Joy Nash, is supposed to be working in a bakery, and she had never made any baked items before, so they wanted someone to be her hand double and do all of the close-up shots of baking, someone else being her hands. So they called me to do that, and then when I got there, I don't know if like the food stylist didn't show up or if they didn't realize like how many cakes it was going to take, but they hired me on the spot. It was something like 60 cakes on the first day just for one scene. And then they had me come back for a couple more episodes because cake became a reoccurring theme. But that was definitely the coolest job that I've ever had, I think. One, because I stumbled into it on accident, but also that, I mean, Marty Noxon is one of the most incredible directors in the world. And then the whole crew and cast was almost entirely women's, and they all knew that like this was a revolutionary show that they were making, so the energy was incredible. And I just stumbled in.
you ever tell people like, yeah, you're gonna be a hand model, or you were a hand model? Hand model?
No, because I don't know. I hadn't.
Hi, I'm Tiffany. I'm a hand model.
Well, also like I don't have the hands to be a hand model, so it's just so last
Thomas,
minute
your
that I
mic.
think they were just
Sorry.
frantic to find me. And I remember getting there, and they put me in the same costume that Joy was in, and they sent me to the hair and makeup trailer to like try to make me look something like her in case any of me was seen in the background behind my hands. And the nail artist looked at me and went, "Your hands look nothing like hers." Thank you.
Jesus Christ. I didn't know there was such a high
mean,
demand for hand
Yeah,
models.
Irish.
Jeez, high standards,
It
lads.
was amazing.
Is that something that's usually used in film and stuff? They have hand models. I've never heard of that
Oh,
before.
absolutely. I wonder if this
Thomas, I was a hand model.
Were you?
really?
I don't care.
Yeah, the Super Value ad.
Were you?
Oh yeah.
I need to know.
Where? For that 90-year-old woman, right?
Stocking shelves, man.
For me,
For you.
I was the hands of the company.
Were you really?
With the hands of nothing.
Well, I wasn't meant to be
There's
a hand model for
yeah,
it, but
there's an ad,
I
and
kind of
he's
became
in
one
the
on set.
background. He's in the
Nobody
background
becomes a
stocking
hand
shelves.
model on purpose. It's always an accident.
It chooses you.
I'm not seeing
Yeah.
a lot of
Thomas
hands
is-
here.
Thomas's new profession.
Super Value hands. I could look up. I could have so many weird things.
Super
Stop.
value.
This is you, Jared, yeah? This is you, man.
I- Thankfully not. No.
No? No, I didn't think
No,
so.
I
Grateful that
remember-
was not me.
You claim
Someone
to be a
paused
hand
the
model,
ad
but yet
on
I'm not
your-
seeing any pictures of your hands on the internet. False.
Jeez, bro, you're so funny. You should be a
Are you
comedian, bro.
making up your hand modeling resume right now in front of us?
No,
Yeah,
I'm
can you,
typing it up as we speak, actually.
yeah. Show us the proof where it didn't happen.
I'm not the one sharing their screen right now.
Meryl,
It's kind of an
Meryl
awkward time to
Streep
bring this
model
up.
in fucking Mamma
Anyway.
Mia. You know, man, you were doing all the jobs.
Anyway, what did it take for you to become a professional chef?
Oh, it was also all sort of an accident, which is just the story of my career, I think.
Jesus Christ.
What wasn't an accident?
It's all an accident. Which is kind of, I think, a New York thing that a lot of people come here not 100% sure of what they want to do, and you just stumble into jobs until you find the right one. But I grew up in like a very small town in Ohio, in the middle of nothing, and we didn't have like great restaurants around us, and I didn't come from like a family that cooked a lot. And so when I moved to New York, I started eating at restaurants and was like, oh, food is great. Food is awesome. And so I then realized as a college student that eating at restaurants all the time was very expensive. So I started cooking, like recreating dishes that I had had at restaurants at home. And then I decided to get into food. I thought that maybe getting into pastry would be a little bit easier. So I just walked into a bakery and asked if they would hire me, and they did. I did that for about a year, and then I was like, I want to work in like a fancy restaurant. And so I walked into a Daniel Boulud restaurant one night after work, and I asked them to hire me. And the chef, whose name is Nicholas Tang, kind of looked at me and said, have you any restaurant experience? And I said, no. And he said, okay, come in on Monday. And that's when all of that started.
Wow.
I should try that myself one day.
You should.
Yeah, just
I don't know how you thought cooking with pastry would be easier. Pastry is so hard to work with.
Yeah, I was thinking that as
I
well.
think there was something about because pastry is usually always done with a recipe, whereas savory cooking isn't, that I was like, oh, I'm good at following rules. That'll be easier than just like walking into a professional restaurant kitchen, which I don't know if that's true. Pastry is really hard, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I like didn't have enough cooking confidence yet to just walk into a restaurant and tell them that they needed to hire me without any experience. Took a little while.
Back in school, we had like a cooking class. I was in a cooking class, and we had to cook choux pastry, and mine ended up looking like something
I remember that.
on the road that you'd run over. Like, it was flat, and it was so bad.
Yeah, our teacher was like, if it's not this thickness, you should just throw it out. And we were like, okay.
Was this in high school? You had a cooking class?
Yeah, home ec.
Yeah, it's called secondary school over here, and it's called home ec, and you do a load of cooking in it. So
I mean, we had home ec too, but we weren't making shoe pastry.
yeah,
That's amazing.
shoe pastry. We made loads of stuff in home ec. We made lasagnas and curries, and made a whole lot. Like.
Someone actually wasn't it Jared's woman who's like set a piece of greaseproof paper on fire?
Oh yeah, in the whole kitchen.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we were making soup and we covered it with like greaseproof paper and then put a lid on it, and it lit on fire out of nowhere, and we were like, how did that happen?
You set soup on fire?
No, like a piece of greaseproof paper that was on some soup.
Okay.
Set soup on fire.
I don't. We didn't even think it was possible. I don't.
Skill taken to do it.
It does require some amount of skill to set soup on fire.
Yeah. It would have to dry out so much, like, or just have so much alcohol in it.
I like baking, and I bake a lot, and sure we all cook a lot, but I don't cook with pastry. I kind of there's like stuff you can buy where it's already like pre-made and everything, so you kind of just get
like just roll.
That's exactly
It's a
what
bit different now, boys. You guys are on a certain kind of diet. So how about we explain that?
I'm not on the. Oh wait, have we already started the diet? I wasn't.
We started
aware.
2 days ago, Dara.
Did we? Well, I kind of ate half of a Papa John's pizza and a 7.5 ounce burger today. So
I'll be straight with you. That is far from paleo. That is everything it's not supposed to be.
That's dairy. That's like just low degrees, cheese, bacon, just.
There's not one thing you could say was paleo in that. That was just dead.
I mean, did you have lettuce in the?
Nope.
Okay. Did you have? I mean, beef, kind of.
I had a can of Monster with it as well, if that makes it better.
Oh Jesus
I don't know that one.
Christ, man! Oh, are you trying to
well,
kill yourself, man?
Here, listen,
Jesus.
I didn't think there was any point in starting the diet when we're going on a session tomorrow and drinking like this copious amount of alcohol.
You said like, oh yeah, have a cheat day. I was like, okay, Saturday.
Yeah,
and then,
but I didn't know we were
the
starting
last
this,
2 days, you just ignored it. You're like,
Well, yeah, but like, no, what's the point in starting in the middle of the week? What's the point in starting the diet in the middle of the week? Start on a Monday.
So then it's easier to track when you fail.
Yeah, like school. Exactly, Thomas. Exactly.
We are very sorry about this, Tiffany. We're going
Tiffany,
to
what
use.
do you think?
We're going to use harsh.
Should you start it in the middle of a week or should you start it on a Monday?
I understand the theory behind starting on a Monday. That makes sense to me.
Boom.
Yeah, but you're wrong.
Case closed. You're shut your mouth. Is there any but? Oh, I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
I know. But yeah. So yeah, we've recently started a paleo diet.
No, we haven't. We haven't.
You haven't.
They have recently started a paleo diet. And I've been on my seafood diet where I seafood and eat it. And
He also hates seafood.
I hate seafood, but I seafood and I eat it. So, yeah, that's fun.
So paleo is that's like lean meats and fruits and vegetables, right?
Well, there's a bit more to it than that, but yeah. I
If
mean, like, if it's not processed, you can basically eat it.
Okay.
That's very hard nowadays. Everything is processed.
Yeah, pretty much.
True.
Especially over in the US, they have.
Have you guys ever
so
bought a
much
vegetable?
What, like a vegetable from like a market that's like untouched by
No, Lidl, Aldi, Tesco, Super Value.
I shop at Lidl.
Tons.
Lovely stuff in
Yeah.
Lidl.
Of course I
Lidl
have.
is like Lidl would be the equivalent to a what would that be in America? Not a Walmart. Those are too big.
The Costco.
They don't even have Tesco.
Costco.
Costco,
We have
maybe. This is what a Lidl looks like now. Lidl and its little brother Aldi. They're like there's like usually actually it is a bit like Walmart because there is a lot
I
of
would argue
weird
that
stuff.
Aldi is better than Lidl.
In
or
Walmart,
bigger.
you can buy anything. You can buy a assault rifle in some Walmarts. So
True.
It's not like a Walmart.
No.
We
Yeah.
do have Aldi.
You have Aldi?
Hey, see, they have Aldi.
Yeah,
They have
Aldi.
Aldi
Real
in,
G. Aldi.
Australia as well.
Aldi's the best.
Yeah, Aldi, pretty cool, man.
Also, my closest grocery store is an Irish grocery store.
Oh, what's it
How
called?
does that, how does
Well,
that work?
it's called Butcher Block, but I think everything they have is imported from Ireland.
That
Do they
is
sell
class.
Lions tea?
Very, very small produce section. Sorry, what'd you say? What tea?
Lions?
Yes.
Barry's.
No,
Yes,
shut up.
they have
Barry's is forfeit.
my favorite thing. I just moved to this apartment right before the city shut down, so I had only been to the one grocery store because it was so close, and I every week would get different. You don't say chips, you say crisps, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I would get different crisps every week to try the different flavors, and so they have Walkers and
Yeah. Walker's is a good one.
what's the other? Potato.
Yep.
Hey!
Hey.
I feel very strongly about which brand is better, and I would love to know your opinion.
Oh,
Really?
wait, we've had this conversation. On
We
the
should
podcast.
also
We wanna
mention
know your
before you say
opinion
it
first.
that we have
Sure.
based an entire amusement park off
We
Taylor
have-
Crisps.
Yeah.
It is our only theme park in Ireland. Look, see that is Tato Land.
It's
That is
like
our
Hershey World,
massive wooden
but
roller
Tato.
coaster. Fastest one in
That's
Europe. Fastest,
amazing.
It's not the fastest
I've
roller
already
coaster in
thought of
Europe.
my
It's the
the
second
fastest
biggest
wooden roller coaster in Europe.
No, it's the second biggest in Europe. Second biggest wooden roller coaster.
And this is
Based off a packet of crisps. Yep. You heard it. Tato Land. And when you come out, you get like a bag of crisps. It's great. It's
Tato
like
Land.
the
It's called
day.
Tato Park.
It's called Tato Park. Shit, sorry.
Yeah.
My bad.
Don't
Anyway.
even know your own country, man.
Are you... Oh, you're a fan of Walker. I prefer Walkers, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Oh, shut up. No, wait.
What's wrong
don't
with
have
you?
to walk. I
Hold
like
on
Walkers
now.
more.
Enough of that.
Alright, hold on. Give her a chance. What
Enough of that.
Tato have you had?
okay. I've had I think all of them that they carry now at this point because it's been months. But my favorite are the prawn cocktails.
Yes!
I'm
Big
obsessed
up prawn
with that.
cocktail.
The prawn
You gotta
cocktail
love it.
and the ketchup are my two favorites.
Tiffany, it was great having you on.
And
Hold on. I'll get a bucket. Hold on.
Thanks for coming on the podcast. I know you've been a guest.
But you
right?
actually wanted the other thing.
Those are Pringles. No. We want not Pringles. Oh God, no. You know Pringles.
Pringles, man, they're disgusting.
These babies. Oh.
Sorry, you devoured like a tube of Pringles like yesterday.
Garrett
I
doesn't eat
literally didn't. I hate Pringles with
You
a
hate Pringles with
passion, bro.
passion. This stuff here though.
Mm.
Yeah.
Here's what happened is I had the Walkers first, and I loved them so much that I went back to the store to get more of them, and they were gone. So I got the Tato brand and was wildly disappointed.
Oh.
Oh,
do you mean
did
wildly?
please tell me you've had cheese and onion. Tato.
Of course you
Oh
have.
yes, I've had the cheese and onion.
They're class, like.
That's the best. That's standard.
That's stable. You have that stuff with your
Then
dinner.
you got all your subcategories of cheese and onion, like snacks and fucking just. I think that's it.
Really?
Yeah.
The subcategories, there's snacks and
There's snacks and the
something else.
king. Then you got like what are the waffles and rancheros and the bacon, you know.
Ah, yeah, man.
We
Nah,
know.
Tato- Teo do some mad business for Ireland. We respect the shit out
They
of him.
do.
No?
Yeah, we love Tato.
I
Like
like Tato.
I live by Tato.
What
Tato's
if
my
I
favorite.
came on here and said all this, and you guys were like, "We're actually sponsored by Tato"?
You know what?
Oh my-
if Tato want to
If
sponsor us,
Tato
we will.
sponsored
Come
us,
on.
I would devote my life to the religion of Tato.
Yo, Potato Head, you listening up, man?
Calling you
His
out.
name is Mr. Tato, not Potato Head.
We're calling you out, man. You want to sponsor this podcast?
We're not calling him
Fucking
out.
do it already.
We're not. Hey,
I'm gonna
we're not
message
calling.
them.
He's a legend.
They don't
He is
fly.
a
They're
legend.
They're like Disney. They're the Disney version of Ireland, man. There.
Yeah, like if, you know the way Disney owns everything. Tato owns Ireland. Tato owns Ireland. I swear.
I apologize.
They have a zoo.
Sorry for talking religiously about Tato like it's an actual cult.
They got tigers. They got jaguars. Not jaguars. What is it? They have they have a bird show. I went to that last year.
The T-Rex, is it?
Something like that. The Dino
They
Chicken.
got some dinosaurs. They got a zip line and
This Teo Zoo.
bunch
You
of
got your
rides.
tigers. You got your leopards. You got your
Ooh.
these stuff. Oh, they got loads of bulls, and I think pretty sure they make
It was
them.
like the first roller coaster I've ever been on, so I have like this emotional attraction to Tato Park.
It's actually the first time I was ever on as well. They have a
Yeah,
bird
because I
show
was
with
like, I was
massive
too young to go on the
stuff
ones
that
with
just
like the
walk.
huge loops and stuff.
Yeah.
Now I love roller coasters. Roller coasters are like my favorite thing ever.
Is it open, or are you guys still shut down?
And we are in phase.
We're pretty close to
Phase
being
three.
completely
Phase three.
reopened. Like we're at the stage where you can go and get like a tattoo or like go out and have food and a drink.
That's
We're
It's
really
funny
10
you
days
said
away
about the
from completely
tattoo. I'm
opening.
not certain if they're actually open yet.
No, they are.
You sure? I've seen someone
Yeah,
complaining
yeah.
about it
He
recently.
just went and got a
They are,
tater.
but they're super booked up.
Are they?
Yeah,
Sorry,
because
Tiffany, you cut out there.
I said he just went to go get a tato tattoo.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's exactly what I'm doing actually.
Sure.
No, I've
Would have to sponsor you.
I
And they
mentioned
have
like a
to.
tattoo
Otherwise,
place,
it's embarrassing.
and they said that they're dealing with all the tattoos that were booked before, so they're booked up until September. So yeah, like 2 months. And but like I think everything actually reopens the end of this month, so that's when everything is going to be back, pretty much.
What about yourself? You're in New York now. Are you still pretty locked down, or what's your situation?
We're also, I think we're approaching phase 3. Right now, restaurants, you can eat outside. They keep delaying indoor dining, which I think is probably for the best. I don't think like tattoo shops or anything. Oh, maybe they are open here. I think we're around the same way that you are, but the rest of the country, not so much.
Yeah, you're. How many cases did you have today now in America?
Didn't
tens of
didn't
thousands,
Texas
right?
have like didn't Texas have 10,000 cases in one day in like the last week?
Yeah, they
That's
had to
more
shut
than
down
every
as well.
country in Europe.
Yeah, they've started saying that. I think there's 14 states now that if you're in one of them and you come to New York, you have to quarantine for 14 days, like a mandatory quarantine.
Yeah.
And Texas is definitely one of them.
Yeah, and there's a plane from Dallas apparently landing in Dublin Airport tomorrow morning. So
No, that landed today with all of the I saw a post and like the Texans were landing in Dublin.
yeah,
And they were saying that the shit was
Yikes.
overrated, and it's just
they need to
yeah, they need to
keep them on the plane for 2 weeks.
We love our American listeners, but at the same time, don't
Some
come
of
to
us
Ireland
are
right
American.
now.
Don't
Yes.
want another
Don't
spike.
come to Ireland.
Don't come to Ireland, especially in
don't
the middle
want
of a
you.
pandemic.
Yeah, go away.
Hey, no,
And
some of
actually,
them are all right.
people are not very accommodating to Americans in Ireland at the moment.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because why are you? It sounds like so like xenophobic.
Yeah, it
Why
sounds
are you
horrible.
here right now?
Yeah.
Like, it's getting
And you guys are
slowly getting
No,
better.
it's not really like
Yeah, like
we're not really like open to anyone at the moment, to be honest. Like,
Of course
Yeah,
not.
like,
we just don't want you to come in here.
if you see a plane landing in Dublin, you're gonna be like, who's here? I don't
pretty
want
much.
them.
'Cause,
Please
like,
stay away.
the county we're from was infection free for 2 weeks, and suddenly we got 3 out of nowhere.
Wait, when?
Okay.
3 days ago. 2 days ago.
3 days ago.
Yeah, we were completely safe until recently.
Yeah, but like that's not people traveling from other countries. That's just people like coming to Offaly to get stuff.
Yeah, but
What
like
the
if
fuck?
if
Why would you
tourism
come here?
peaks up,
Thomas,
know,
we went to like 9 different shops all over the country looking for the same product, and they had it nowhere.
Good point.
What was the product?
Microphone.
Floorboards, like a
Floorboards.
specific color of floorboard. And
Essential
my mom
items.
dragged me along to find these floorboards, and she's still holding out hope that one day they're going to come back into stock in one of the shops, and they're just not. I'm just like, please give up, and she's like, never. But yeah, those are the bulk of quarantine adventures. Just going out to like find a specific thing.
How's the lockdown affected your work life? Like, as a chef, you can't really work at home.
Right. I did not. So right when the city shut down, right when it started to get really bad here, I was like 3 or 4 days into a cookbook that was supposed to be 3 weeks long, and those the last day or so, I was like, guys, I don't think we should keep doing this. And they were like, no, I think it'll be okay. But we ended up shutting it down, and then I didn't work for like 3 months. I just started working again the past couple of weeks, and it's been pretty crazy. I did a film shoot recently where they had they call them the COVID crew, and it's these guys that are dressed up. They look like they're in Ghostbusters, and they have like these machines strapped onto them that they're like spraying everything down before we go in. And we have temperature checks every day, and everyone's wearing masks. It's been pretty intense. So I'm just hoping that with everyone being super careful that it won't happen to anybody that I'm working with, and we'll be okay. But we'll see. I'm trying not to hold out hope, and I'm preparing to shut down again just in case.
Yeah, it looks like the States is going to definitely close.
I'm pretty sure Ireland is going to do that again. We were under, I think, we're back up cases now. We had 25 new ones today. And we've had pretty low numbers.
25 now.
Yeah, but like it's.
New York had.
But considering that we only have 4 million people in Ireland in Ruby,
I feel like it's
that's our
just that there's
population.
it's the tests. Like some days they're going to test less people, and some days they're going to test more people, and that's why the numbers are fluctuating so much. I don't think it's actually like.
Also, the reproduction rate has gone up to 1 again, where it was 0 for a bit.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so it's going to get worse. We're at the beginning of this shit kind of thing.
This is because we've gone from you can't leave your house to
You can go see your friends.
You can leave you can leave your county and just wear a mask. Like
anyway, how many cases have New York had today?
The state of New York had 584 cases yesterday.
Jesus.
I'm pretty sure that's how many people were in our school.
Still very low for here. Not great compared to, let me see, Texas.
Yeah.
God.
God help Texans.
Yeah.
we didn't have from Texas on yesterday.
Texas had 10,028 cases yesterday.
10,028 cases in one day.
I feel like
looking great.
If you combined all of the infections in Europe, it would be lower than that.
Yeah. That's true.
Okay, you just fact check that, please.
I'll do it now.
Yeah.
That could be like a really accurate statement or a really outlandish one.
Okay, so people in Europe have 12 cases. That's in total. That's in total. Nope. Never mind. That's total. There's 12.
That's just today. Yeah.
What's that?
That's just today. Oh wow! Look at that! Wow, that is so many.
That's not looking great, guys.
Christ! Oh, I feel so bad.
What was our total? It was something like 10,000, maybe.
I'm looking up Ireland total. How many cases we had now?
Yeah.
Cases or
And
Also, the last time I was in the UK was right after our presidential election, it was right before the election, and I was in, where was I? I was in London, and anytime someone found out we were from the US, they would get really concerned for us. I remember being in like a grocery store or something, and the cashier was like, "Oh, you're Americans? Are you okay?"
just hand on the shoulder. Are you okay?
You all right?
Hey, I can understand that you're fucked, but here. I'm sure.
Elections, there's one upcoming, isn't there?
There is.
Yes, there is in November.
Good luck. That's all I'll say.
And Kanye West is running.
I know, and
Please,
now we can't even
vote.
leave if we want to. Like, if I wanted to leave the country, no one would take me. I'm just
Do
stuck
not
here.
vote for Kanye West as a joke.
I don't. Is he running this year, or can he run this year?
He's running. He can run this year as an independent.
Isn't it the birthday party? That's
his party's the birthday party. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's not great, guys.
Ignore that.
Well, listen, like he's doing something decent at the moment. At least
Stop.
He's building.
No.
He's
What?
building.
No.
Listen, he's
Stop.
building.
What?
He's building.
What?
He's building
Stop
homeless
talking.
shelters.
Stop. Okay, well that's okay. Yeah, but
Dara's views do not.
No.
we
I'm
feel
not
the same.
saying no. I'm not saying go vote for Kanye West. He's amazing. He's an amazing candidate.
Anybody
I'm
listening
saying he's doing something good at the moment. Just remember, you're gonna have the founder of Yeezys, which are possibly the ugliest shoe on the planet.
Andrew Yang wanted universal basic income. Kanye West wants universal Yeezys. He's gonna give them everyone.
Universal Yeezys.
Everyone
gets one pair.
What if that happens? What
Actually, if
no
you don't
votes?
for anyone, then you just make other people's votes more powerful.
That is a good point. What if nobody votes? Let's put that in perspective. Let's put that on the table.
Then you just need one person to vote, and then they win. Full stop.
No.
One person goes
you
against
get
the grain.
security guards to block off the voting stations. You have fucking Alsatians at every single voting
You
station.
get a civil
right?
war.
That's fine. I can deal with that. Okay. No president. Civil war. Who's gonna stop us? The president? No president.
Civil war.
You get international
You would
intervention
rather
and
a civil war than Kanye West be president.
What?
You would rather a civil war than Kanye West be president.
I mean, they're pretty much the same thing.
Already kind of having a civil war.
Yeah.
You are
Can
having-
we talk about
Different
food?
would it be?
We
Can
talk about food?
Why can't we talk about Yay
This
West,
is a
bro?
political podcast now.
I want to talk about.
Oh no! Talk about
I like
Yeezy.
food. You guys like food?
I like food. I like.
You know who else likes food? Yeezy.
We should ask her a very important question that we've had on this podcast a lot. So,
Oh.
one of our very first episodes, we did something called the food episode, right?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Oh, this. Should be
I won.
good.
And
By the way,
All right, Thomas. Can you get the details up? Like, do you know the details off by heart, or can you get the full details?
I can know the details pretty off by heart. And I asked the
Are we
lads.
going by
I
the
said,
dessert, or are we going with the full
I'm with
course?
full menu. I'm gonna ask her the whole thing. So
Okay.
I asked the lads. I said, "I'm your new boss," which I am. But I said, I'm gonna invite myself over to your house to make a meal for me, and I want starter, main,
which is
I
really
want
weird.
desserts.
We all agree that's really weird.
Doesn't matter. And so I asked the lads. I had kind of like a cook-off.
I'd
I was
probably
like,
quit.
and I said, I made them call out their starters, what they'd make, and then I decided which one I preferred. Jared won on a very
On a very
controversial.
bullshit note.
Jared won because he put a
Because he put a mint leaf on a fucking horrible sounding cheesecake.
where Dara had a brownie. So I put the question to
I
you.
had a brownie. I had the best brownie you could ever have.
First I'll ask, what would you choose? And then I'm gonna ask, what would be your starter, main, dessert that your staple, what you'd make if you had someone come over to your house to try and impress, kind of stuff,
Okay. So wait. So my choices were brownie or a cheesecake.
Yeah.
Oh
Do you
wait,
guys
are we
want-
going
do
off
you
that
guys, do you
one,
guys
or
want to
the whole
explain?
thing?
Do you want to
Yeah,
explain how
tell
you
me
did it?
about your dishes.
Yeah.
All right, Jared, you go first, because I can't remember yours for the life of me.
I don't remember a thing I made, but I know it was better than Dara's.
Oh.
If that's what it was. But he
Um,
doesn't even remember his own
I'm
recipe.
telling the truth, lads. That's a fact. I stick by it.
Bad enough that he doesn't know his
I'll
own
fight
recipe.
any lad
He
this
knows
side of
recipe.
Mississippi.
Jared
says
made made strawberry cheesecake, if I'm correct in that.
He
And
made like a layered one with different flavors.
I don't know what I made.
I swear to God, it was
That's
like
a
he had
2-hour
chocolate.
episode. I'm not watching.
He
again.
had chocolate and then like I don't know what it was, like broken up biscuit, then like strawberry broken up biscuit or something like that, and then vanilla, and then he just slapped a mint leaf on it because Thomas liked mint. It was bullshit.
Then, Dara, you made some horrible
I made
sounding brownies.
A horrible sounding brownie. It sounded class, man.
Yeah, man, you put
Triple
broccoli in them or
brownie.
something. I don't know. What's
No,
wrong.
I didn't put broccoli in them. Triple chocolate caramel brownie.
That was pretty gross, bro.
Uh,
Who the fuck likes vegetables in their chocolate? Come on.
Shut
man.
up.
You're rotten.
Right, listen. Stop being so inconsiderate and let her guess. Aside from those two very, very
Okay.
accurate descriptions.
Very accurate descriptions. I am a chocolate person. I probably would have gone for the brownie.
Ah,
Hey! I win.
Saying that, like, why do I feel like I made the wrong choice, even though
Did
I would have
Because-
won?
you let the villain win?
Thomas is biased.
You just let you just killed James Bond.
Listen,
if James Bond
Listen,
had a podcast.
listen,
kind
no,
of stuff.
just listen. The only reason George won is because George slapped a bit of mint leaf on it. That's going to change the taste of about one bite, and then
Do
boom.
not.
The rest of it
That's
is
all you need, man.
garbage.
One bite.
Yeah,
It'll
right. The
change
only
the
reason you didn't
dish.
pick mine is because you don't like caramel, bro.
I like
You're
caramel.
biased. And you didn't. No, and it was worse because Jared didn't add mint leaf, and then you were like, "Oh, you said before that I like mint leaf," and then he added mint leaf just for the sake of you saying that, just to be a dick.
Anyway.
Anyway, Tiffany,
What-
if you were making a meal for someone you wanted to impress them, you had to do 3 course. What
Your
would you
starter,
make?
main, and your dessert.
Oh, this is hard. Who am I making food for?
Oh, you're
Someone
making,
important to you.
you're making it for me.
Okay. Well then, I was gonna
Or
make some really
Thomas.
pushy joke about potatoes, but that felt super American and rude.
Thomas did potatoes. He's
Knee
Irish
slapper.
Everybody. Oh, I did potatoes in mine as well. So
Yeah, so did I.
If it was you, I would just do like every course would have like potato chips in it in some way. I think. Like obviously it would have to be like a salad with like potato croutons or like a potato crusted steak.
Oh,
Potato chips with ice
that
cream.
sounds horrible. What the hell? Ew.
Thomas, don't say anything because Tato made a chocolate bar with crisps in it.
That was shit, man. That was horrible.
I know.
Shite.
It was
Would you guys
nasty.
remember the Tato bar? Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah, the
They
Tato
made-
bar, bro. It was so hype. It was so hype. Everyone was like, "Oh my
They made
god,
a chocolate
Tato
bar,
bar!"
and then they just crushed crisps. That's it. Yeah, it was.
In theory, it
chocolate
sounds like it would be good.
No.
Theory.
No.
In theory, yes, but in reality,
theory,
it
good.
was
In practice, garbage.
shite.
it tasted fine, guys.
No, it didn't. Shut up, Jared.
It tasted rotten, man. Biting
Your
into
chocolate
a
is also
chocolate bar and getting a
good
crisp, like.
We're
It's
a
like
fan of
biting into
Tato,
a lollipop.
but
It's like biting
they made
into a
some
lollipop
fun
and a
sauce.
razor blade, man. Literally.
Anyway,
That's
so
what
we
it
got Tato salad, Tato steak.
Tato
Dessert.
salad. Tato salad.
No,
then
no,
dessert
but
will
And that's
seriously,
my final answer.
if you could make like the perfect meal for someone, what would you try and make? And Dara, don't interrupt again.
I'm not gonna.
Beat your ass.
Interrupting. Shut up.
The perfect meal. I talked about this on Instagram yesterday, but while I was day drinking again during quarantine, I had this meal once, and I would probably try to recreate it at this restaurant in San Francisco where they had I like cabbage. I've always liked cabbage, but I didn't feel like super strongly towards it. But they had this buttermilk poached cabbage that I think about every day, and I would make that. That would probably be my first course. I make I like vegetables. I would probably I have a butternut squash brulee that I like to make. That's a pretty big crowd pleaser. That would be dessert. Main course. I don't know.
It's a big deal. The main course, like
Everything here is so meat heavy.
Yeah. The two lads went for steaks. They both
Yeah,
tried
we
to
both went for
recreate.
steak.
Steak, obviously, a really good steak.
the steak is cool.
You're really big about your steaks over in New York, aren't you? Like, you guys love your
Yeah,
steaks.
steak.
Steak is
We're
just-
very big
oh.
about meat here in general, just the entire country. Kind of,
So are we. Like most Western cultures are.
yeah.
And meat is just.
And potatoes.
Shit.
Also, potatoes bake here as well.
Potatoes are pretty. They're
Thomas
probably
doesn't
not as
like
big
mashed
as you would
potatoes. He's
expect
the
them to
weirdest
be.
Irish person I've ever met.
What'd you say?
I said Thomas doesn't like mashed potatoes. He's the
I don't
weirdest
like mashed
Irish person
potatoes.
I've ever
I
met.
stand by that. I'm not a fan of mashed potatoes.
And Irish, like mashed potatoes, is like the staple of a Sunday roast.
I don't know what it is with mashed potatoes. They just don't. Now, if you season it correctly and throw some maybe
Season it correctly. Listen
Yeah,
to
man.
me.
Bland mashed potatoes taste like cardboard.
Man, I'm not
Mushy
talking about
cardboard.
bland mashed potatoes.
Well,
I'm
then,
talking about like
but if you don't like mashed potatoes, what is like the ideal potato form?
Roast potato.
rotten.
Okay, that's fair.
It's like a brick.
Ah,
Fired.
tasty brick.
That's a word you're gonna know about after this episode. Fired.
I'm sure
Me or Thomas?
me.
Chill.
I get my roast potatoes and I like boil them first and then I season them with paprika and salt, pepper, and
That's
then put
just
them
a
in the
mashed
oven.
potato with extra steps.
It is, and it's lovely.
Are you mental? Are you
Yeah.
actually mental?
You gotta make nice food, man. Like I'm not gonna eat mashed potatoes. They're shite.
What's the point in roasting a potato and then being like, I'll boil it?
No, I boil it before I roast it. Jesus. Why the fuck would I boil roasted potatoes?
That's what I'm saying. What the fuck?
I I
You know,
roast boiled potatoes.
It doesn't not make sense. I'm with you on the boiling before the roasting. I'll
Yeah.
give it to you.
Exactly. I do that with a lot of foods.
And then you like smash them on the sheet tray and roast them that way, and they get all crispy.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
You know exactly
I
what
must
you want.
just think of the amount of like electricity you're wasting by doing that.
Oh well, at least I have nice food.
Pause. I can't say anything. I have like 2 lights on in my room right now. So
I have 0 lights on in my room, just a computer.
that's because you're a genie.
You were talking
Anyway.
about things being super meat heavy in the States.
Yeah.
Are you vegetarian or vegan? Or
I'm
just reduce
not.
your meat intake?
I'll eat anything, especially with work, because a lot of times we're just tasting everything as we go.
Yeah.
But I try to be more. I eat mostly vegetarian at home because I think that we do it wrong here.
do.
I think that between all of the dairy and meat that we consume here, it's just way out of hand. And a lot of other countries, meat, when they eat meat, it's more of like a flavoring than it is the main course, which I think is the right way to do it. We're so gross here.
Well, I don't know personally from countries I've been to, with like meat just being like an added side. I know like if you're in Mediterranean countries, it's like mainly fish.
Yeah.
Maybe some lamb, whatever.
Fish
But,
is pretty big here in Ireland. We're really big fans of cod and salmon.
Speak
Just
for yourself,
especially on a Friday, because we're not supposed to eat meat on a Friday. It's like the
You're-
whole thing. They're very
We're
strict.
Catholics.
Exactly.
Man,
Even
that's
though we
like
do.
what? Man, Friday's like the only day I eat meat. I'm joking. I eat meat like every day. It's bad.
Nice.
It's bad, but like, man, it just wow. Something about meat, man. Just wow. Jared over here inhales the vegetables.
I do.
Vegetables are
I
great.
feel me and Thomas are in the same boat.
That's why it was really easy for me to do a paleo diet.
Oh no, I like vegetables, man. They're all right.
Yeah, man, but like nothing can beat a bit of steak
You know what?
or chicken.
You're not wrong there, man.
Chicken bread.
I did agricultural science when I was in secondary, and one thing we learned very fast was like standards in the meat industry. Like a lot of like cruelty happens in the US or
Yeah.
some other countries where that wouldn't happen in the EU, and like it's not allowed to be sold within the EU if that's the case. Like
Oh, yeah.
US beef is not allowed into Ireland.
Mm.
US dairy is not allowed into Ireland.
It's even, and not even just with like meat and cheese and stuff like that. There's a lot of even the same brands that you have there and we have here. The ingredients will be different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
Don't you spray your chicken with chlorine? That's a big thing over in the US.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Me personally, no.
No, not you, but like chicken is supposed to be clean
Wait,
with chlorine.
like
Yeah.
chlorine,
Isn't it?
like the stuff you put in a swimming pool. Like.
Yes.
That's the stuff. Extra stuff.
I think it kills bacteria or something. Well, I'm not sure what the whole science behind it is.
Oh,
All very gross.
Yeah.
Everything is just full of
Jeez.
preservatives. The farming here, the mass farming that happens with the animals. There's just no way that we could keep up with the demand for meat and dairy in our country and do it the right way, because the demand is so high.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I feel like if you want like the quality to be really high in your ingredients, you love Ireland. Our standards are really high, and some would even argue a bit too high.
Well, I don't know if I'll ever be able to get in there now. We can't even fly there.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess good food starts from the ground up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Farming
The
practices.
cow's treated right. You can taste it.
Yeah, we play music to cows here, like they love it
What? Since when?
since forever, Dara. Thomas,
Man,
look it
I
up,
didn't know
please.
that. That's class.
We're
Same
all
being a cow and you're just playing music. Well, the end of it is horrible, but sure, look.
I'm almost positive that we are also the only country that has advertising that is just for like beef or just for milk, but it's not for a certain brand. Like we have the Got Milk campaign, but it's not for a certain
Yeah.
brand of milk. It's just telling us they spend like I think it's like over $500 million a year in advertising for.
We do it as well.
It's insane.
It just if people aren't buying enough dairy products, they'll all chip in. Like all these different farms across the country will be asked to chip in a little bit to run the campaign.
Yeah, sure. What is it? Avonmore always has ads after and before the weather. I don't
On the
know
news,
why.
the main news channel.
Yeah, on the
Yeah.
main news, like it'll always be like Irish weather sponsored by Avonmore, and it's like what?
Wow.
Avonmore controls the weather.
Avonmore controls the weather.
Explain that one to me, science.
If people aren't buying enough Avonmore, they make it rainy. That's why it's always raining because everyone's buying Tesco milk.
That should be a running joke on this thing.
What? Avonmore controls the weather.
Yeah. Do you ever deal with dietary restrictions when you're cooking for people, like if they're vegetarian or vegan or so on?
When I was in restaurants before I got into food styling, there was definitely that's also another like awful part of our culture is that we say that the customer is always right, even though they usually are not. And there's a couple that I can think of. Well, a lot of dietary restrictions, but then also just pickiness here. Like there was once when at a restaurant I was working at where someone ordered salmon, and the salmon got to them, and they sent it back because they said it was still pink. It's a pink fish, and so they cooked it. They like did it super well done, sent it to them, and they were like, no, it's still pink. And so they sent him a white fish, and they were thrilled. It just doesn't make any sense. And we've had people send back oysters because they were too cold, which is just that's how you serve oysters. Like it's bizarre here.
Everyone here is just like, if you get the wrong order, 90% of people are just gonna be like, that's fine, thank you.
Yeah. We also had we had a woman once say that she was allergic to salt, which is not physically possible. But I remember the chef being like, I wonder what happens when she cries because there's salt in her tears.
It's like, oh shit,
God.
I'm gonna cry and absolutely burn the shit off my face. Some cry can promote immune responses that have been linked to a
like
topic.
the other interesting thing is that with food styling, especially when people are, as for film and TV, when people are eating on camera, you have to be really diligent about food allergies and such. And so I was working on a shoot once that involved hummus, and it was like these flatbreads with hummus, and they had all these toppings. And the actor that was taking the bite out of it in the commercial was allergic to one of the things on the topping. So you have to like build it around so there's a specific bite that they can even take. It's crazy.
Do you ever see those ads? How they make like with the food ads and how they're actually
like cereal and
where they
stuff.
like paint the chicken with brown paint.
And they
And
have,
is that real or?
It used to be. I think it used to be a lot more. Now almost everything that we do is real, and which is great because it's much less food waste. But there was a lawsuit, I think in the 90s, someone sued Campbell's Soup because a food stylist had put marbles in the bottom of the bowl for a picture so that the vegetables in the soup would float to the top. And someone saw one of the marbles, and so they sued Campbell's Soup.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No, I kind of understand that because American advertising is really bad. You're not really promoting the product.
Right.
And
They're promoting a perfect version of the product.
Yeah.
Yeah, even with all like the McDonald's ads and everything, where they have like these thick, like juicy burgers, and then you go in there and their burger's like a piece of bread.
Yeah, well, the crazy thing about that is when it's such a big company, generally they give you the food to work with, like so that it is the truth that you are using their products. But when you have people who are professionals and know how to make it look perfect and know how to like fake grill marks, even though it'll still be edible, or like somebody who's got tweezers and is placing the sesame seeds on that bun into perfect places, it's still technically their product. They just have people that know how to make it look better. So is it lying? It is a little bit.
It is. Oh, no, it is.
I mean, I can give it like I literally we went out to eat today, me and my friend, and I got a 7.5 inch burger. Sounds crazy, was crazy, but you know it's showing patties that are like half an inch thick, and I'm getting like paper thin burgers. Like it was.
Disappointing.
I wouldn't say disappointing because I wouldn't say disappointing because it still tasted good. But I don't know if it was 7.5 ounces. Yeah.
should wait some time like in the store and I'd be like
Yeah,
curious.
like this is 6.5 ounces.
There's probably a YouTube channel out there that does that. Like that's their whole thing. They go in and weigh shit.
Wasn't that whole thing? Wasn't there a whole thing with Red Bull and like giving you wings?
Someone sued
And so
them.
they had to
because they jumped
someone
off them.
sued them, so they had to change it to like wings.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Or like it didn't give me wings.
yeah, I don't know about that one. I mean,
Some people would.
Some people, man.
The big one that I remember is the woman who sued McDonald's, I think, because she spilled her coffee and it burned her. So they had to put on all the cups now, caution may be hot.
There was a difference with that specific one. They used to serve coffee like 300 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna fucking burn. I don't care who you are. And then they launched this campaign of funding these news companies to make her sound as stupid as physically possible. She
Right.
originally only asked for them to pay for the surgery. Get that off the screen,
yeah.
please.
Oh my god.
Don't even know if we can put this up anymore.
No.
I think we can. We'll be good.
We'll see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, she just asked for like the healthcare part of it to be paid for, and then they were like, nah.
I know.
Maybe said no. There's a harsh reality to that case.
Yeah, those big multi-billion-dollar companies like McDonald's and Burger King, they're like they could easily pay the entire hospital, but
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
you burn your hand and sure, it's like go fuck yourself. We don't care.
Yeah, I don't understand that though. Like, wouldn't it be so much
Unless
better
they're
if
like
they
losing
paid
a
for it?
copious amount of money, they don't give a shit.
Oh, God, yeah.
If they're like, okay, this person could get like a lot of money out of us.
If they could have built a
Unless that's the
hospital,
thing.
put the doctors through college, and then paid them overtime to take care of this one person. But like, you want to give me $7,000 to help the burns you caused? No.
No. They're worth $134.5 billion in 2018. And sure, that only goes up, doesn't it? I mean, it's not like they're
it only
losing
goes
money. They're
up.
I
McDonald's.
mean, they probably lost money this year, but
Yeah. Oh,
Other
they
than that-
they shut down the huge McDonald's that was in Times Square like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
yeah,
Just-
they shut
it's just
down
gone.
every McDonald's here for a few months, and then they started opening drive-throughs then again, and now you can go in and get takeaway.
Mm.
I don't think you can sit in still, but you can get a takeaway anyway. I know that. So yeah, all the massive companies lost a shit ton of money over this.
Oh,
Fucking
yeah.
small businesses, though. If you think about that, if you think about how much the big businesses lost, like go eat out in your small bit, take away from your small business owners,
Exactly. Yeah.
and they're losing mad amount of money that they don't have, unlike
Yeah.
McDonald's.
Big fella
Yeah, like-
shop local.
Oh yeah. Plus, you're probably getting better quality products anyway.
Oh,
Shout out
God,
to
yeah.
Big Bites. Best takeaway in Edenderry.
Not true.
Wrong.
Don't debate me.
Wrong.
Do not.
Wrong.
Do
Lily
not
Garden,
dare.
bro.
Wrong. We'll do this
Lily
later.
Garden.
Anyway.
You're both fired.
I don't care. I own you. Anyway.
How often do you guys get fired?
Pardon?
Sorry?
How often do you guys get fired? Like how many times an episode?
Oh, like at least 15 times a day.
I fired
Like,
them about 6
Dude,
times
Jared will
today.
text like, Jared will be like, "Oh, did someone put a description on that video? Fired."
It's
Like,
like, oh, I forgot. Please, I had a genuine. I should fired. Yeah.
it's like, please, man, my dog's sick. It's like, no, fired.
It's only a bit of fun because we're all
Ah,
friends
yeah,
anyway.
it's. There's a running joke that Jared's a dictator,
He is.
Sound.
and like
Oh.
Thomas will write like messages for help in like the text bar and stuff randomly.
It's actually kind of sad that Jared
Actually-
bases his entire career off this dude.
I was I was actually only showing one of my friends a clip,
The great
and
dictator. Nice.
I was only showing one of my friends a clip of the podcast, and I just noticed Thomas is typing how to tell your friends you don't want to be on their podcast anymore,
I remember that.
and I was like, oh,
Yeah,
like
but
oh my god,
originally this podcast was basically their idea, but then they didn't go ahead with it. So then I said it, and then they did it. But like they talked about it for like over a year.
yeah.
And I said, guys, I'm going to start a podcast. Do you want to be part of it? I said, sure.
No, it was like he put a tweet out. He's like thinking about starting a podcast, and I was like, Thomas is like, me too, and I was like, me too. So we all just like, fuck it, we'll
No,
do a
I
podcast.
said starting a podcast. Who's in? And you both typed in, I'm in.
Yeah, and then we were just like, all right, sorted.
No regrets. Am I right, guys?
So you also stumbled into this.
Biggest
Yeah.
regret of my life. And I just,
I know, it's
I
great
know.
fun. We get to talk to people like you. And
is awesome.
yeah,
other cool people.
We get to talk to very cool people.
we do. People that we wouldn't get to talk to in any other situation.
No, we've met heroes. We've met people we've watched. We've met, fucking hypnotips who, trick people into marrying dolls. We met the whole lot.
And shares.
Crazy.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's all pretty cool, man. Isn't it?
It is pretty good. Yeah.
I got nothing. I got nothing.
I got
Alright.
no.
Yeah.
I think we're good. I think we're done. Thank you so much for getting on. You've been a great guest.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem at all. Thank you.
Yeah, you listen to us, and
I
that's.
apologize.
You joined in on the debates, which is the most important part.
We'll send the invoice later on. Was it? No, I mean we'll
We'll send you the
send us
apology
the
letter.
invoice. No, yeah. Thanks so much for getting on.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
If people want to follow you, want to check you out, where can they find you?
Mostly on Instagram at Tiffany Schleigh, SCHLEIGH.
Perfect.
Well, we'll leave that in the description. And if you're watching
Of
this,
course we will.
thank you for coming this far.
Fair play for getting this
sure,
far. It's been crazy.
It's been a wild ride. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, tell your grandma about the podcast. And
Take it handy.
Take it handy. Good luck.
Thanks.